this is starting to get like really good. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 6 of New Panty and Stocking. And yeah, like I said in the cold open, this is like really starting to get like surprisingly and impressively good for this series. Like, don't get me wrong, season 1 had some really great episodes, some really funny moments, and that's what endeared me to the series in the first place. The fact that the humor was not only batshit insane, but there were episodes here and there that were like just really good. But this season, like, has really surprised me, from the episode with Vibe the cat to the Fantastic Four parody segment, and even now the horror segment, which also plays on like some misogynistic tropes of like the blonde bimbo character always getting killed off and everything. It's like, wow. And on top of that, Scanty and Nisox have been integrated into the main cast so fucking well. Like, they were fantastic in season 1. I really loved their interactions with the Anarchy sisters, and like that beach episode was fantastic from season 1. Like, they worked so well off of each other. But now that they're in the actual main cast, I was like worried that they were going to like feel like they're overstaying their welcome. But no, they've integrated in so aggressively well. And seeing their interactions with not just each other, but with Panty and Stocking and Garter Belt and just all of these other characters, seeing how they're like going on these missions and stuff, it's been so well handled. And there's still the weird batshit insane moments, like the entire Fast and the Furious sperm segment was just a total what the fuck. But that's also balanced out by some like really genuinely great moments. And then of course there's the fact that this season has, you know, full-blown nudity in it, which was unexpected. Like, it's cartoony nudity, mind you. But like, we've seen like that card game uncle monster character's dick. We've seen Panty's pointy ass titties. And it's just like, oh, okay. Like, this is like not really holding back. Surprisingly so. And it's just like, oh, okay. Fair enough. I mean, I guess it's on Amazon Prime now, so it can get away with that a little easier, but still. And it fits with the series. Like, it doesn't feel out of place or anything, and it doesn't feel like just fan service for the sake of fan service. Because let's be honest, this is not like a lot of the fan service you see in anime. It's meant to be silly. It's not meant to be like super sexually enticing. This isn't the kind of fan service you're supposed to be like gawking at and pausing the video and rewinding the video at necessarily. It's the fan service you're supposed to find almost kind of funny. That it's not only just included, but also the way it's included. Again, the dick being shown during the like Yu-Gi-Oh like card game with the weird uncle monsters. It's like, yeah, what the fuck? And then like when it shows like the tits and everything, where like Panty's like having sex or masturbating or whatever, or like during when it shows like tits during the horror segment, it's like when it's showing it during like Panty masturbating or something. Again, they're so absurdly pointy. It's like almost like Lara Croft from the earlier Tomb Raider games. And then when it's showing it during the horror episode, it's like kind of like also playing with the idea of, you know, characters being inexplicably stripped or shown naked during horror films. Like a killer's coming after them and it just happens to like be after they're getting out of the shower or when they're having sex, or like they attack them in a way to where their top pops off a little bit. And it's just like it's clearly mocking that kind of idea. And so it's like, oh, they're just taking the piss. They're just absolutely taking the piss out of this trope. And that's pretty fun, because that's kind of what panty and stocking just does in general. That's kind of the entire thing. So yeah, I think this season is really impressing me so far. And I'm very excited to see what more is to come. I guess we'll just check it out and see. I don't know what to expect. Honestly, with this series, I really don't know what to expect. But I think this is the halfway point of the season. I think there's going to be 12, 13 episodes this season, so I guess we'll see if we get any more, like, follow-up on the bad guy, the demon guy. I can't remember his name. I just still cannot remember his name. But we have not had follow-up on him since the beginning of the season, after, Panty was saved, or not Panty, Stocking was saved from demon control, and Panty was, put back together and everything. We haven't really followed up on him at all, so maybe we'll get that here. Because that definitely needs to be followed up on. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, and hope for the best. So let's get into this. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, I looked up polyester and polyurethane's voices. Polyester is Hunter McCoy. I couldn't find anything for him on Behind the Voice Actors. Apparently, like, he's very new. And judging on the picture they have, he's like a baby. He's like actually Gen Z. So it's like, yeah, that kind of tracks then. But Corey Wilder, who was polyurethane, is also apparently in more recent stuff like Gachiakata and Shirley, but they are also Justice in Zenshu. So it's like, oh, you're the hot dragon guy from Zenshu. Sick. And now you're a hot angel guy in this. They did a great job with the voicing, just like Hunter McCoy did. Oh, and I'm saying they, by the way, because Corey Wilder is non-binary, for anyone who might not know. I think they're also a newer VA though, because it seemed like all their roles were from the past couple years. So it's like, cool. I'm glad that some newer VAs are getting some attention here, and they both did a fantastic job. Now, voice actors aside, this was our first full segment. No, the first episode was a full segment. Well, this was our first full segment episode this season since the first episode. And I think the Scanny and Nisox episode in season 1 did the same thing, which makes sense. This very much seems like the equivalent to that. It almost seems like it's kind of like playing off of the Scanny and Nisox episode from season 1. Kind of like doing the same things and introducing these new characters in much the same way. And I like that. I think that it one feels like it's, in a way, a sort of like, satire on a lot of American cartoons like this series tends to do, by having like it kind of repeat a plot line. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of American cartoons that just are very repetitive in certain ways, whether it's repetitive episodic episodes to where it's like each episode follows a formula and everything. Formulaic episodes is a better way to put that. whether it's like the repetitive formulaic episodes that a lot of episodic shows utilize, or whether it's just there are shows out there that reuse plot points. They dress them up in a different way, but still. And this very much seems like a callback to that. It's like, obviously, polyester and polyurethane and their introduction, the way things are handled, and even their threat level feel much greater and much more interesting and unique than Scanny knee socks. Scanny and knee socks felt like they were the anti-panty and stocking, which is kind of the intent, obviously, by their names even. Um, but polyester and polyurethane are definitely kind of the product of the new generation. With this having come out like, what, 12 to 15 years, something like that, after season 1, polyester and polyurethane are more representative of like the new age, the new era of animation fans out there and just animation. They represent more of the change that has occurred, and we see that through the new tech they have, the very different kind of vehicle they drive, their Gen Z lingo. It all feels very different. Even the fact that they're guys, like, as weird as that sounds, is kind of like representative of them not just being an anti-panty and stocking this time, but being kind of like a whole different thing. Even though they're also angels, they feel like they're a different kind of thing altogether. And now, like with how Scanny and Nisak set things up with the bad guy from season 1, this is setting things up with a bad guy for this season, which I think is supposed to be Panty and Stocking's father. Like, that's supposed to be the king, right? Based on, I think they were calling him his Majesty and all. So that's really interesting for a number of reasons. But yeah, I liked how notably different they were and how kind of fucking annoying they were, but intentionally so, to the point where it's like they're so annoying that it's really fucking funny. Because it's like a lot of people just view annoyingness in shows and stuff as just that and don't see how it can be used for good comedic effect. Cringe humor is still humor. And Gen Z lingo in and of itself is not cringe. I hate when people say shit like that. Because it's like, you know, older generations thought the same of millennial lingo. And the same thing with like Gen X lingo. Every time a generation has a different form of like, you know, slang and whatnot, previous generations like kind of look down on it. It always happens with every single generation. And I've never really understood that, because it's like, one, I use kind of like a random spattering of slang from all over the place. Like, I'll occasionally say groovy, and it's like, that's been out of style since before I was born. But I'll occasionally use terms like that. But I will also use Gen Z slang as well. Like, I've said for real, for real. I have literally said that before in videos even. It's like, I don't mind it, because like some of it's a little much, but I genuinely like think some of it works really well and it's kind of fun. Um you know what them also like constantly using the Gen Z lingo reminds me of? There's this one scene in My Hero Academia. It's like past where I've actually gotten in the series, but I've seen the clip because it was big on social media for a while because of people bitching about it. You know, Kami, the girl from the other school who we actually didn't see at first because it was actually Himiko Toga disguised as her. Well, there's a scene where Kami is like helping the others like fight against All for One and the bad guys and all. And she like kind of like appears almost out of nowhere and starts like just spitting out Gen Z slang. Like talking about like you can't unalive Hawks and calling him a snack and saying like All For One has a face card and stuff. And there were people who were pissed about that. Like, unreasonably pissed. There were people who were saying, like, oh, they're ruining it by adding all this slang to the series. But then people had to, like, educate them that it's like, no, the original Japanese did this too. Like, maybe you just don't understand it because it's not your language, but in the original Japanese, she's also using, like, modern slang. That's literally her character. That's the joke with her character. She even does it in the manga. The original manga. It's like that's literally just her character. So it's actually excessively, like, accurate to the source material for her to speak like that in the English dub. And, like, the entire controversy with that got shut down because it's just like people just educated the idiots that it's like, no, she's supposed to be speaking like that. I've seen the scene, and it's one of the funniest things I have ever seen in My Hero Academia. And My Hero Academia does have some funny moments, but that was, like, I think the funniest one for me, at least out of what I've seen, because it was so over the top silly with it. And that's the joke. You're supposed to see that as funny. That's the intent, clearly. And Panty and Stocking is doing the same thing with polyester and polyurethane. Because they're meant to be seen as over-the-top Gen Zers, the new generation of angels. That's literally the intent. It's really interesting to think about how this kind of, like, parallels, like, the views of this kind of stuff in real life. That's just fascinating to me that they took this turn, but it also makes sense for when this, season is coming out. So I welcome it. I entirely welcome it. The battle between them and, making it kind of a reference to John Carpenter's They Live, which I reacted to only a few months ago, I think, on this channel. I reacted to it for the first time, having never seen it before, and it's like, it's actually a really good movie. Keith David's in it, Roddy Piper. It's actually really good. But yeah, it's like I didn't recognize at first, but the ghosts in this, like, are definitely based off of that in terms of their appearance. But I mean, you also have the fact that Panty and Stocking can't see them as these ghosts until they put on the glasses. It's like that's just very directly a reference to it, because in They Live, that's the thing that's how the characters see that the aliens are amongst them. They put on these special glasses that reveal them. Or I guess there's contacts at one point too. But you get the point either way. So it's like very clearly a reference. And once you realize it, it's like obvious as hell. It just didn't click with me at first. But when it did, it really did. I also love the transformation sequences. Like, we've seen, like, the Panty and Stocking. I think we've seen Nisok's and Scanny's transformations before, like that. Like, full transformations. But I don't think we've seen them together, and I think some of the motions were slightly different as well. Like, Scanty did, like, a big, did the splits and everything, and Nisok's was, like, really showing off her ass in that one shot, which is like, damn, I'm game with that. Though, like I've said before, Nisok's is probably the hottest of the girls for me. But then we also had a transformation sequence for polyester and polyurethane, and it had them in cop uniforms that were... It just reminded me of the... was it the first ending for Free Iwatobi Swim Club? I think it was. I think in the first ending of the Free series, it shows Rin in a cop uniform. And that's been used for, like, marketing and prints and stuff. And so it's like, it just reminded me of that. Plus, I think the cop thing is also a kink for some reason. It makes no sense to me, but nonetheless, Like, God, their transformation sequences was still excessively hot. Like, I almost want to say it's maybe a little hotter than Panty and Stockings. I know that might be wild heresy to say, but it's like I kind of think it might have been. I mean, mind you, I've only seen it once here, but it's like that was like really hot. And I mean, I'm, pansexual, so like I'm attracted to people like no matter what gender they are, so that doesn't matter to me that it's like I'm that they're guys. I'm attracted to guys just as I am to girls. But yeah, it's like on top of that they have those massive bulges, and at like near the end of the transformation sequence they're also in like the the gold thongs pretty much, with also still massive bulges, and it's like, okay, I'm into this. um Also, I kind of like bulges, like that's also just a thing, so maybe that's why. um I have no idea why, but I just find bulges really hot specifically. I don't know if it's like the teasing nature of it, that it's not like actually showing anything, but it's like very implicative of what's underneath. I don't know, but it's like bulges have always just been really hot to me. So it's like, yeah, that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for me. This series is like so wild. Between the like obvious sex appeal, the satire on American animation and whatnot, the crazy zany comedy. Also, I haven't even touched on this other girl yet. What the fuck is she? Is she an angel? Is she a demon? It never actually said, unless I somehow missed something. All it said was that she's like omniscient, and that she is definitely some kind of either other dimensional or otherworldly being. It's kind of unclear. But I also love that she's like her human disguise basically is this geek girl, which it's like geek girls are already like a great aesthetic, but then it's like you have her like go sexy mode, and it's like flipping between it like really quickly at one point. It's like that's funny. And yeah, obviously she was gonna take all the money at the end. Like it just had to happen. Like they owed her a shit ton of money. So it's like that's not a surprise or anything. That needed to happen pretty much. But yeah, I want to know more about her, because it's like polyester and polyurethane, it's like cool, sexy, hot angel boys. Love it. But we get them. We understand what they're about. I don't understand this girl. I don't know what her deal is yet. Hell, I don't even know if she's a friend or foe. She could be either at this point. She's so mysterious. And it's like she's helping Panty and Stocking, but that doesn't mean as much as you might think. I don't trust her entirely. And I would love to be proven wrong. I love her to be just a complete ally, but I feel like there's a lot more to her that we're just not getting yet. I very much want to see more of her though, because I feel like she has a lot of great potential and intrigue to her. So obviously we're seeing more polyester and polyurethane. That's set up at the end, just like it was for Scandi and knee socks. But I want to see more of her as well. Now, there's a couple other things I want to touch on real quick before we end this. One, they made a fucking Candy Mountain reference. Does anybody remember that old YouTube video? Candy Mountain, Charlie. It's a mythical Plesiosaurus or whatever the fuck it's called. You know if you've seen the video, you know what I'm referring to. God, that is like classic YouTube. That's like 2 decades old YouTube. Which YouTube started in 2005, so yeah, I think Candy Mountain might have been 2007, but close enough. Um, I think that's before the first llama with hats came out. I want to say so, because I think llamas with hats started in like 2010 or something. Maybe I don't know. I'm not confident with these dates at all. But either way, um, a Candy Mountain reference. But I mentioned this in the reaction, and I think might have like briefly mentioned it last time. But I definitely want to bring it up again here. Um, I really like that they've reverted to saying "repent, motherfuckers." Because you noticed like earlier episodes, I was like noticing that how they would say like "repent, bitches," and I was kind of disappointed by it because it just doesn't sound it right. "Repent, motherfuckers" rolls off the tongue better. It has a better cadence and sound to it, and honestly, it just feels better like in terms of the localization of it all. And I know "repent bitches" is like the more accurate translation, but it's like sometimes I did talk about this before. Sometimes Americanizations of things aren't entirely bad because sometimes there's things in an anime or whatnot that just doesn't really click in the same way when it's in English for one reason or another. And so certain Americanizations with the dialogue and writing have to be made to make it sound better. And I'm not talking like 4Kids levels of shit. I'm not talking that level of localization because that's bad. That's not just localization. That's censorship and like trying to make a non-child friendly show child friendly. This is a different situation. This is like you're taking something and making it just sound slightly better while still giving off the same idea. And I really do wonder if the audience was just complaining about that change and so they did decide to switch it back to "repent, motherfuckers." Because it's like it just really suddenly switched back just like that with no warning or anything. And so it's like I feel like it probably had to have been, It probably had to have been because of fan outcry, because it just doesn't sound right. It just doesn't work the same. Plus, there's also the disconnect with season 1 when you do something like that. Because season 1, it was, "repent, motherfuckers" the entire time. So it's just like, I'm glad that they switched it back. I'm glad that that's common now. Also, like with the going back to the Candy Mountain thing, also Scanny and Neosocks were turned into a single horse, and it's just like, what the fuck? Or it was kind of like a goat horse thing. It was like supposed to be like a more, in polyester and polyurethanes views, a more realistic demon form. Also, by the way, when polyester and polyurethane noticed them and like kind of zoomed in on them, that reminded me of Bill doing that, Bill Cipher in Gravity Falls during Weird Mageddon, when he did that towards Dipper. He's like, well, what do we have? And then right as he says here, it like he zooms in at him, and it's like, it's this really intimidating, freaky moment. And that reminded me of that in this episode when polyester and polyurethane did that. And it's like, that's actually really fucking intimidating. Like, wait, why are they actually kind of scary? They didn't stay that way, mind you, but that moment was actually kind of intimidating. And it's like, oh, okay. I was not expecting that. I'm very curious to see where this storyline goes. And I wonder if it's going to connect to the demon bad guy from last season. Maybe again, who I assume is Panty and Stocking's father. Maybe he's gonna end up working with the demon guy, and it's gonna be like a duo from both sides that Panty and Stocking have to deal with. That would be really interesting. Also, I love that Ramiel's hand was just, an actual human hand. Like an actual picture of a human hand. It's just like, oh, okay. Was that like the director's hand or something? Or did they just randomly find a hand to use on like Google Images? That's really funny that it's just a actual picture of a human hand. Um but yeah, this episode like was just really good. Just like the Scanny and Knee Socks one from season 1. It's like they really put forth so much effort in terms of the writing, the visuals, the, dialogue and everything to make that this introduction of these new characters really work. And honestly, I would not be surprised based on just this if there is already a shit ton of porn of these characters. I'll look it up, just for research purposes, just to find out, just to see. Um, I'll check. I'll take that bullet for you. Don't worry. I'll do that for you. You deserve that. You deserve for me to take that bullet for you. I'll check the porn sites, see see if there's. I can't keep a straight face too long saying this. Um, See if there's art of them. But in all seriousness, it's like there probably is. Hell, like there's probably been art of them because these characters were, I assume, announced ahead of time. I had been trying to stay away from all spoilers, any trailers or like pre-release info. I know stuff had been posted in the Discord server by people. I have been avoiding that. I avoided all the like any kind of pre-release stuff that was posted to the Discord even because I didn't want to be spoiled on anything. And I feel like I'm glad I did because I'm glad that I wasn't spoiled on them. Because like I feel like not expecting that made it much more entertaining. For a number of reasons. But yeah, I really enjoyed that episode, and I really hope we get more like this in terms of quality and in terms of seeing these two again. Um, can we get a beach episode with them? Like, please? We got one with Scanny and Knee Socks. Can we get one with them now added in too? That would be fun. That would be cool. Or no, you don't have to make another beach episode. How about a pool episode? It kind of has the same vibe, but is also a bit different. Makes it more unique. Also, I feel like it could kind of be seen as like a more modernization of the beach episode thing, which would work for polyester and polyurethane's entire modernized idea. That could be cool. That could be a cool episode. I really want that to happen now. And not just because I want to see polyester and polyurethane in Speedos. I just... I think that would be just a really cool play on what they did with Scanny and Knee Socks in Season 1. But yeah, that all being said, like I said, tell me your thoughts down below. Tell me what you thought of the new Angel Boys. What did you think of the Gen Z lingo and like certain references in this? Let me know your thoughts down below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.